Hello everyone, it's Carolyn and welcome back to Contemporary Mama and part 2 of my Money Saving Mama series. I have to start out by apologizing because this video is long overdue. Part 1, which is how to save money by doing laundry, was posted probably 7 months ago, so I really do apologize that it's taking me so long to get this video out, but I actually think this is the perfect time of year to post it because the holidays bring along tons of extra expenses and we're all looking to cut back where we can. And I know that for many of us, our grocery bill is one of the largest bills that we're paying every single week. So if we can find a few ways to trim the fat on that, then we're all going to be having a little bit of extra change in our pocket that we can be using on gifts and food and holiday excursions and expenses. So I'm going to jump right into this video. It's going to be fairly short, sweet, and simple. Tips that are able to be easily incorporated. So my very first tip is to meal plan and shop your stock. And I have an entire video dedicated on this, so I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but oftentimes I will create a meal plan. I will buy all the ingredients that I need for a specific meal, but let's be honest, things happen, life happens, and I don't always get a chance to make it. So that stuff goes into my freezer or my pantry and I often forget about it. And when I'm making my meal plan next week, I don't think to include those items that are already in my pantry or in my freezer. So my very first tip is to shop your own stock, see what you have before you even make a list, before you go to the grocery store. And oftentimes you will find enough ingredients to make an entire meal or multiple meals out of. So that's going to save you a lot of money because you're going to be using things that you already have and that you've already purchased. So that brings me to my tip number 2, and that is to make your list and make your meal plan. I can't even tell you how much money meal planning has saved me. For years, I used to just go to the grocery store, aimlessly wander up and down the aisles. This was pre-kids, obviously. And I would just buy whatever looked good. And I'd get home and I'd realize I can't even make a meal out of it because I'm missing ingredients, or I didn't buy enough items to make meals for the entire week. So I was making multiple trips to the store. So just sitting down and taking 10 minutes to create just a very simple basic meal plan is going to save you so much time and so much money in the long run, because you're not going to be buying ingredients that are going to be going to waste. When you have a list and you have a meal plan, everything that you buy has a purpose. Nothing is going to go to waste, nothing is going to get thrown away, and no money is going to be wasted, which is the most important. My third tip is when you are making your meal plan to base your meal plan on the sales where you shop. So this couldn't be easier in this day and age. No longer do you have to rifle through the newspaper trying to find that darn grocery store flyer. You can just go right on your store's website. Most stores even have an app, and you can search and see what the heck is on sale this week. You know, let's say salmon's $2 off. That sounds great. We haven't had salmon in a while. I'm going to add that to my list and create a meal around it. And what is even better is this brings me into my next tip, and that is to buy in bulk and freeze if possible. This is one of my favorite tips that I do all the time. I pretty much know the prices of almost everything that I buy in the grocery store, and when it goes on sale for a really good price, I'm not talking just a few cents off, I'm not being fooled by those kind of sales. I mean really good prices. I stock up. I buy as much as I can, and I have a deep freezer in my basement. So I portion things out into, freezer bags, and I even have a food saver, and I portion it out into enough meat or product for one meal, and then I freeze it. This has saved me so much money over the years because I usually buy enough of whatever it is to stock up on until almost the time for the next sale. So if you see a freezer full of chicken at my house, you'll know chicken has been on sale recently. But seriously, this is such a great tip because almost anything can be frozen. Not just meats and things like that, but butter, milk, bread, seriously, almost anything. So buying in bulk and freezing is a great tip for saving a ton. So another tip when you're in the store is to try out the store brand. I know many of us grew up eating certain brands of certain items, but honestly, most of the time, I can't even tell the difference from the store brand. And it's gonna save you so much money to buy generic because they aren't spending money on advertising fees, but the product is usually exactly the same. So just give the store brand a try. Most of the time, I promise you won't be able to tell the difference, but you will be able to tell a difference in your wallet because it's gonna save you a ton if you buy the store brand over time. Another tip that your grocery store is not going to want to tell you is to avoid shopping right at eye level. They usually put the most expensive items right at eye level because that is what you are naturally going to be drawn to, and they want you to buy the most expensive cereal that they have. Shopping on the bottom shelf or all the way at the top are often where they put the more inexpensive brands, and I absolutely know this to be true because my favorite tortilla chips are always on the very top shelf. Luckily, I'm tall, so that's not an issue for me, but seriously, just take a look around and you will notice that the most expensive products tend to be right exactly where you're looking. So look up, look down, it can save you a lot of money. Another trick when you are shopping the sales at your store is to look at the price per unit. So let's take laundry detergent for example. These go on sale all the time. So you might see a big jar of laundry detergent and you'll see it's $2 off. You think that's a great deal, $2 off. But then you might want to take a look at that smaller jug of laundry detergent, and the price per unit might actually be less money than the larger one. So you want to make sure that you're looking at exactly how much money you're paying per fluid ounce or per pound, whatever the unit of measurement might be, and you can stock up on the cheapest option. So it's not always the biggest. Bigger doesn't always mean less expensive. So make sure you're looking at the price per unit so you're getting the best value for your dollar. Now, this next tip might seem a little bit strange to you, but I want to warn you, beware of coupons. And you might be thinking, Carolyn, what are you talking about? Coupons are here to save me money. And while that can be true, they can also add a lot of money to your grocery bill. And what I mean by that is years ago, when I wanted to try to cut back on my grocery bill, I thought, hey, I'm gonna clip coupons. I see all those shows on TV about extreme couponers and they spend like $50 and they have a whole car full of food. So I started trying to use coupons. But what I found that they did for me personally is they were making me buy products that I wouldn't even consider buying. Like, let's say I got a coupon for a big package of gum, let's say for example, and it gave me $1 off. So I thought, great, I save $1 on gum, but I don't even really chew gum. So I'm actually spending $2 to buy gum that I probably wouldn't have even bought in the first place. So you have to be very careful when you're using coupons. It's great if you have a coupon for a product that you need and that you purchase regularly, but if it's a coupon for something that you probably wouldn't have considered buying, then you're actually going to be spending more money instead of saving that little bit of money that the coupon is going to give you off the price. And so my very last tip you might also be surprised by because it might seem like a bit of a luxury, but I have found that having my groceries delivered has saved me a ton of money. And a lot of people are quite surprised when I tell them this because there usually is a fee when you have your groceries delivered. However, there usually is discounts if you are able to have your groceries delivered at the times that aren't quite popular. So I find that if I can get my groceries delivered midday when I'm not working and I'm going to be home anyways, it only costs me a couple of dollars. Rather than prime time, which is usually weekend mornings, that can cost upwards of $8 to $10. And yes, you will be spending more money for that. However, another way to get around this is to do grocery pickup, and that is usually free of charge, at least at most stores where I live. So the reason why I think this can save you a ton of money is because no matter what, without fail, every time I set foot into a grocery store, I buy something that is not on my list. So I take all this time, I make a meal plan, I make a list, I go into my store, I buy everything that's on my list, but as I'm shopping through the store, I always end up picking up things that are not on my list. especially if I have my kids with me, because I'm usually buying something to keep them occupied and to snack on so they stay quiet. So if I can avoid that by purchasing my groceries online and either going to the store to pick them up when they're already bagged up and ready to go, or having them delivered right to my house, it is going to prevent me from purchasing those impulse purchases that really add up. When you're going to the store every week and buying 2 or 3 items that aren't on your list that you probably don't need, that is going to add up big time over the course of a year. So it's going to force you to make a list. It's going to force you to make a meal plan. It is going to force you to not impulse purchase. So doing all of those things together is really going to save you a ton of money over time. I really hope that these tips were helpful for you and that you can implement a couple of them the next time you are going to be grocery shopping. Please let me know if you have any other tips for saving money on your grocery bill, because I am always looking to cut back on that. It is definitely one of our highest bills in my household. So I want to thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you on Friday with a brand new video.